Today, on the eve of a celebration of the Danda Mahotsav of Das Raghunath Goswami, having wedding, first, second initiation, pre-initiation blessings. Of course, at this time we should also discuss a little bit about the glories of Lord Nityananda, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the glories of Panihati Dham. Lord Chaitanya said that there were several places where he always resided. He used to reside in whenever Gadadhar would cook, he would always be at that place. He would always reside wherever Nityananda would dance. Because Nityananda's dancing, Lord Nityananda's dancing was so transcendentally attractive, Lord Chaitanya would immediately be there. Whether visible or invisible, he would be there to appreciate. So he also said he was always in the place of Panihati. Panihati is therefore a very sacred place in Bengal, in eastern India, on the bank of the Ganges. There are many devotees who resided there, and the chief of them was Raghava Pandit. Raghava Pandit was a devotee of Krishna who was always trying to do his service to Krishna in a better way. I think that in America there's an advertisement, we do in a better way or something like that. Well, Raghava Pandit, he always tried to do in a better way his devotional service to Lord Chaitanya and to his deities of Krishna. So he had so many coconut trees. In fact, to this day, if you look in Panihati, you'll find that there are many coconut trees. But he wouldn't offer those coconuts to his deity because he knew that there was one coconut tree 10 miles away that had a sweeter coconut. He would arrange to have coconuts brought from that tree to offer for his deity. In this way, there may have been a mango tree there, but he'd think, it says the best mango fruit that I can offer to my deity of Krishna. And if it wasn't, then he would go and look for the better mango tree to offer fruit to his deity. In other words, instead of just doing the most expeditious thing to serve Krishna, he would always do the most superlative thing. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya was always residing in his house through his spiritual presence. And therefore Lord Nityananda used to go and visit the house of Raghava Pandit. And it was during one visit to Raghava Pandit's house that Lord Nityananda instituted this special festival for which we are all gathered together today and tomorrow. A festival where Lord Nityananda showed how the mercy of Krishna can be distributed to everyone in a profuse manner. So, Das Raghunath, we discussed this morning, he was the son of a great landlord at that time in India. His father would collect over 1,200,000 gold coins to give as tax to the emperor. And that time gold coins are worth, even today a gold coin is worth hundreds of dollars, so that would be about $300 million. There was an ounce coin. And you know that gold at that time was worth far more. So practically speaking, his father was paying over $1 billion in taxes. What to speak of what his own personal wealth was. So Das Raghunath was a very rich person. But Das Raghunath, he understood that the purpose of life could never be satisfied simply with material possessions. That when he was living in his home, he used the wealth of his father to hold this big festival. And he fed thousands and hundreds of thousands of people Krishna Prasadam. This festival is still held even after 500 years in India. And every year we distribute about prasad to about foodstuff to 100,000 people. So Das Raghunath is one of the 6 Goswamis who got the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they are responsible for teaching us the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. It was a Sanatan Goswami, another of the 6 Goswamis, who asked Lord Chaitanya, the people call me a very learned person. They say that I am well educated. They call me a Pandit. But actually I feel myself a fool because I don't know the most basic thing. I don't know who am I. Therefore I beg you to tell me, who am I? Actually, we find in the Western world, we may have Challenger rockets, we have jumbo jets, we have so many technological advances, computers. But generally the people, they also, in spite of so much material knowledge, they are not very clear about who they are. What is the purpose of life? Where does life come from? What happens after this life? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught to Sanatan Goswami, Jivar Sarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das, that the actual identity of the soul is that he is the servant of the Supreme Person, known as Krishna, the all-attractive in Sanskrit. And as the servant or eternal servant of the Lord, it was very easy if we understand that we are eternal, then immediately in that just one word, that gives us a perspective that we're not this body, that this body is actually an instrument for a higher purpose of realizing the self, realizing God, serving God. It is an instrument. It is not the end and the be-all of our existence to serve the body, but to use the body for a higher purpose, to protect the body. Everything we do with the body in Krishna consciousness is meant for a higher spiritual purpose. What is that purpose? That was explained by Lord Chaitanya. Jivar Sarup hoy Nitya Krishna Das. To serve Krishna, to serve the Lord. And everyone in the material world has 2 opportunities. They have the opportunity to try to enjoy the senses, or they have the opportunity to serve the senses of God, of Krishna. Now, enjoying the senses is not unique for humans, because animals, birds, bees, they're also trying to enjoy their senses. But serving God is unique for spiritually enlightened people. Lord Jesus served God. Muhammad served God. Prahlad, Bali Maharaj, Narada Muni, great Mahajans, they serve the Lord. This is something for highly developed souls. But serving the senses, that is something that every animal does, or to speak of humans. So in this way there are 2 paths, the path of Nritti Marg and Pravritti Marg. The path of spiritual elevation, coming closer to the Godhead, and the path of enjoyment in the material world. So the Vedas, or the ancient scriptures of India, they say the goal is Nritti Marg, or coming closer to God, to Krishna. The goal is actually to become more and more spiritually awakened. And so even material enjoyment should be regulated, should be developed for that higher purpose. Today we're celebrating a Krishna conscious marriage because even marriage is considered sacred. It is considered a cooperation between man and wife. They become one karmically, spiritually. They become a unit to serve. So in this way they share in their activities the results. So they don't have a separate interest. if they both serve together Krishna, if they maintain their material family with that ultimate objective, then this way there is a perfect harmony, there's a perfect unity, there's a perfect shelter of Krishna. So of course every family has material objectives, children, happiness, so many other objectives. But in Krishna consciousness, these objectives and the objective of becoming Krishna conscious are one. Because even the children are ultimately meant that we want to bring a child into the world not to die and be in ignorance, but to also be liberated and to be of service to uplift the entire humanity. So, the 6 Goswamis, they received these instructions from Lord Chaitanya, and in turn they wrote profuse literatures for our education, for our upliftment. And these form the basis of our Krishna conscious movement. So we are based on the same principle of being Krishna's eternal servant. When we serve Krishna, since Krishna is in the spiritual world, it is difficult to communicate. Not difficult to communicate in one sense, but to get the response may be difficult because of our being covered over and not being able to receive the message from Krishna. So therefore we go through the via media of the disciplic succession coming from Krishna. Guru, disciple, and this way the message has been handed down. So this feast that we are observing tomorrow is also, I say this a lot, but the feast is actually celebrating also this special teaching that we have to approach Krishna going through the spiritual master. Das Raghunath tried to directly approach Krishna and he failed. So when he saw Lord Nityananda and he paid his obeisances, and Nityananda said, aha, I have to give him a punishment, because he tried to go directly to Krishna without going through the Guru. And then Das Raghunath admitted his mistake. That nobody can directly go to Krishna, can go directly to God. You have to go through his son, through his bona fide representative. Nobody can go through the Father, through the Supreme Lord, except through the spiritual master. This is the eternal Vedic principle. And one must have a personal spiritual master, be initiated by him, serve the Lord through him, and the spiritual master takes responsibility for all the sinful reactions, all the karmas of the disciple. Therefore the disciple is very careful after taking initiation not to break any regulative principles or to perform any vikarmic activities. The relationship between the Guru and disciple is a spiritual relationship heart to heart. Being a Guru is not actually a very big position, it's a very humble position. One has to simply take the message of Krishna and deliver it without changing it, as he has heard it from his spiritual master. Prabhupada gives the example that if a mailman delivers a letter and he opens it up and he starts to write in his own commentary, no one will appreciate that. You get a love letter from your girlfriend, the mailman opens it up and starts adding a few lines in, people will get angry at such a mailman. Similarly, the Guru, he doesn't have the prerogative to add his own purport or add his own commentary apart from whatever he has received from the previous acharyas in the scriptures. So Lord Nityananda, he is the original spiritual master, and he is very merciful. The nature of the spiritual master is to be very merciful. So Nityananda, he would deliver anyone, whether they are qualified or unqualified, he would give them the holy name. In fact, even though he was struck by Madhai on the head, and he was bleeding. He still said, just because you have beaten me, does that mean I won't give you love for Krishna? Chant Hare Krishna. Take to Krishna consciousness. So seeing this determination, this mercy of Lord Nityananda, the two brothers who were very criminal in their nature, very violent. In India they call gundas. Here in the West I guess they call them thugs. Goons? Oh, goon and gunda. Oh, the Bengali and the Hindi is gunda. And here they call goon. It shows Sanskrit is the mother language. So, the two brothers surrendered to Lord Nityananda, they surrendered to Lord Chaitanya, and then they begged to be initiated. So Lord Chaitanya told them to go and bathe in the Ganges and come back. And he gave them initiation on the promise that whatever you've done, you're completely cleared off. Clean slate. But that in the future you will not do any more misbehavior. So this is a responsibility. We may have done anything. We surrender to Krishna. Krishna will protect us from that reaction. But we have to be very careful not to again fall into karmic activities. To remain on the transcendental platform, simply engaging in devotional service. Actually, Prabhupada requested, don't do any don't do any sinful activity, don't do any pious activity. You simply serve Radha and Krishna. You simply serve Nitai and Gaur. This is actually our function, is to serve in transcendental loving service. So, with these words, our program is to, we give out beads for the beads. The time of initiation, first initiation. So today we have some pre-initiations. Pre-initiation is especially for, well, it was originally made especially for those who are living outside the temple, because there was a need to implement the Vedic program. In the Vedas it states that before one takes initiation from the spiritual master, one should already surrender to the Guru. One should already place oneself under the guidance of the Guru. So that would be done by a simple request on behalf of the disciple, requesting, please give me your shelter, please guide me. There wasn't a very formal ceremony for that. Similarly, we don't have a very formal ceremony, but simply this basic intention to want guidance is stated, and the spiritual master prays to Krishna that one may advance in devotional service and takes the responsibility to responsibly give guidance and training to that disciple. When a disciple is chanting 16 rounds for 6 months to a year, able to follow the 4 regulative principles very strictly, and they feel the desire to take eternal shelter of the spiritual master, not only for this life but for eternity, for even life after life, then they're given Harinam initiation, which is where they're given a spiritual name. So the pre-initiation, we have 2 stages. One is for those who are chanting 4 rounds or more. And one other is for those who are practicing all of the principles of devotional service in their home or in the temple. And they're almost ready to take initiation. They're just preparing. So for the pre-initiation of Krishna Sevika, we have a very old friend of the temple who's been coming for a long time. Is she here? Yes, Harriet. She's trying to control her mind always and thinking of Krishna, but how many rounds you chant? 16. For those even who chant 16, they shouldn't reduce, they should keep up, but we take them step by step. So if you believe that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, is Lord Krishna, and that Lord Krishna has appeared in the age of Kali as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful avatar, then say Hare Krishna. You can reaffirm this. If you believe that pure devotional service, the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, is the perfection of life, and your personal goal in life is to achieve pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, then say Hare Krishna. If you want to quickly achieve pure devotional service to Lord Krishna, if you want spiritual guidance or shiksha from me, and accept me as your instructing spiritual master, or shiksha guru, then say Hare Krishna. And as a Krishna Sevak, if you intend to gradually increase your devotional service and practice to become pure, you want to achieve the eternal shelter of Krishna in this lifetime, if you want to receive in the future Harinam initiation, then say Hare Krishna. Alright, Harriet, come here. It's ashes from the Mayapur eternal fire yagya. Krishna Sevika Harriet. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So Cynthia and Paul, who have been very enthusiastic couple chanting Hare Krishna, very dear to me. They also requested for a Krishna Sadhak, which is self-explanatory when you hear the things. It's for those who are practicing the sadhana of Krishna consciousness. We give it to those who chant 16 rounds, in some cases even those who chant 8. In this case, they're both 16. So if you are chanting a daily minimum of 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and regularly practice and committed to regularly practicing Hare Krishna Sankirtan as taught by Sri Chaitanya, then say Hare Krishna. If you're committed to regularly study and attending the classes in Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam, and other books by Srila Prabhupada under my guidance or the guidance of my representatives, then say Hare Krishna. If you're dedicated to practice worshipping Lord Krishna in our Krishna conscious temples, in your home, as far as practical, including offering foodstuff, offering arti to Lord Krishna, worshipping the sacred Tulsi plant, worshipping the spiritual masters, not different representative of Lord Krishna, and following other devotional practices, whether living in a temple or at home, then say Hare Krishna. And if you're determined to further control your mind and senses by engaging them productively in Krishna's devotional service under my guidance through the process of Bhakti Yoga, then if you want to be accept the eternal shelter of Harinam initiation and become fixed in the pure joy of Krishna consciousness, then say Hare Krishna. come up. The Krishna sadhaks, the sadhakis are advanced bhaktas. Krishna sadhak Paul. Krishna sadhaki Cynthia. First Harinam initiations. We have Bhakta John. What are the four regular principles? How many times chanting Hare Krishna?
Minimum 16 rounds.
And you're committed to following the disciplic succession through Srila Prabhupada, your spiritual grandfather and founder Acharya of Iskcon. So your name, it's not difficult to understand the meaning. Your name is Jai Govardhan Das Brahmachari. Favorite place of Das Raghunath? We have Bhakti and Lisa. What happened to my pen? Pen. Gracias. Four principles. How many times? Okay. You're eternally committed to following your spiritual grandfather, founder of Acharya Iskcon, Srila Prabhupada's disciplic succession. So, your name means the servant of the transcendental nectarian form of the Lord pastimes. Your name is Leela Madhuri Devi Das. Sundari. सुंदरी नेपाल से आया तब बहुत दिन से मंदिर में सेवा करते हैं हम लोग को बहुत खुश है अभी दीक्षा लेते हैं लेती है Four regular principles. Say in Nepali. Niramish Ahar, Niramish, Sakahari, Nishya Bharjan, Avoidya Purusang, जुआ आधा 16 कितने बार हरि नाम कितने बार so you're naming you the servant of the beautiful mother of Lord Chaitanya Your name is Sachi Sundari. One thing on these Tulsi beads, just have to put a thread after the 8th bead. For some reason that thread wasn't there, so kindly put the thread on after the ceremony. The big side. Okay. This separates 8 gopis from the 100 gopis. So, do you have a Brahman thread there? Someone? What are we offering peaches up in the fire? It's a new...
Grapefruit? Oranges?
No, on the plate they have peach. Normally offer banana.
Bananas. Yeah, oranges over here.
Oranges. Well, there must be more bananas. There is a big feast tomorrow. There must be so many bananas. Can I get a Brahmin thread for him? We're supposed to be a Brahmin thread on this plate.
I can get one.
Is there a mantra sheet? A sheet? Also?
Sure.
A tela?
No.
No. Huh? Right, a big cloth. Then the mantra sheet. We have to do that. Is there any question? While anybody's here, if anybody has any question, just raise your hand.
¿Usted va a cantar un Gayatri Mantra para mí en el corral? Porque no sé. Okay. Do you have the mantra on the paper?
No tengo. En el templo. Anyone had a question? The fire, huh? Did you tie, anyone tie new neck beads on the, they put new neck beads on it? The neck beads there? Could Balabhadra Prabhu arrange for neck beads? Everyone should have a banana. It should be unbroken banana. We offer grains into this sacrificial fire as a offering to the Lord, showing our surrender, our dedication. It's a Vedic ritual, ceremony, which we preserve during these special occasions like initiations, weddings, sannyas, some other ceremonies. Because this Krishna conscious movement is coming from an ancient tradition, a tradition going back over 5,000 years, an eternal tradition, Sanatana. So we preserve these ceremonies. Actually, these add to the festivity. They also each have various depths of significance. Of course, for our personal purification, we chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, as the regular daily feature. Because in this day and age, it would be difficult to have a sacrifice like this every place, every day. And it would be difficult to find qualified people to be able to do it. But anybody can chant the names of Krishna. That's a very easy form of meditation. You don't even have to go to the church, the temple. You can be in the park, you can be in your home, You can be anywhere and chant the name of the Lord. You can chant these mantras, elevate your consciousness. But after somebody's chanted Hare Krishna for some years, then to do this type of ceremony, we give a special initiation called Brahminical initiation or Gayatri mantra. And those mantras cannot be chanted any time, any place, by anyone. Person has to already attain a certain degree of proficiency in chanting through chanting Hare Krishna and receiving Harinam initiation. But after one has chanted for a period of time, they have a basic understanding of the philosophy, then we accept them for the second initiation of called Dvija or Brahminical, at which time they are also qualified to perform such ceremonies. It's like an ordination where they become qualified as training priests. And eventually they can also perform weddings, they can perform the temple ceremonies. With that comes a great responsibility. Just as in society, if somebody's a priest or if they're an ordained person, then they're not to act irresponsibly. They're to teach others what they know. They're to live in a simple way. They're to have the qualities of purity, cleanliness, knowledge, wisdom, and so on. So, we have one candidate today who is going to receive this. Because this is a mantra which is not spoken out loud, except when you hear it the first time. After that it's chanted mentally. So we'll be giving this. At that time everybody can chant Hare Krishna.